Welcome back. Fulton County Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade withdrawing from the Georgia election interference case against Donald Trump, allowing DA Fani Willis to remain on the case. Willis and Wade accused of having an improper affair while using federal money on themselves. Wade said in his resignation letter he was stepping down for the interest of democracy. Georgia Congressman Richard McCormick joined me earlier on this program reacting to the case. Watch.
Well, I wish they'd be dismissed. I think this has been contrived from the very beginning. Obviously, it's politically motivated. If you look at the judges that have been appointed in the regions that it's been prosecuted, this has been a farce from the very beginning. They're looking to hamstring our political candidate, the person who should be the next president of the United States. And this is absolutely conspiracy.
Joining me right now is former NYPD inspector, Fox News contributor, and the founder of the opsdesk.org, lawyer as well, Paul Mauro. Paul, great to see you. Thank you so much for weighing in on this. What did you make of this? I mean, on the one hand, I felt like, well, you know, the judge just gave Fani Willis an out. She's still on the case. She's fine, despite all of this. So her boyfriend, you know, steps down. But on the other hand, some people say this was a big black eye for her. How do you see this?
So a little bit of both. It's somewhat of an ambivalent decision. First off, what the judge does is he assesses the original motivation for bringing the case, and he doesn't find there to be enough of an appearance of impropriety for him to not let the case go forward. Okay, so there's that. But then he goes through the behavior of the two of them, that is Willis and Wade, on the stand. And he uses a very flowery term, the odor of mendacity. And what that is really is judged for likely perjury, which is a felony. So he essentially says, I am not going to stop the case. But on the other hand, there was all this other stuff that needs to be looked at. And then he kind of puts it on others to look at it. He says he sort of name checks the Georgia State Assembly. I think he meant the Senate, because that's who's already issued subpoenas here. He talked about the Georgia State Bar. And by implication, I think what he's talking about is maybe Governor Kemp or the Attorney General, Chris Carr in Georgia, who really should be looking at this thing with the beginnings of a criminal probe to see if, in fact, felonies were committed here.
So you think that there could be felonies here, criminality?
I do. I think that there is enough of an indicia of perjury that it has to be examined, certainly, by more than a regulatory body. The only way to really get to the bottom of this, you need a criminal investigation that has the power to issue search warrants and subpoenas. Why? Because just as a basic thing, the first thing you're going to want to do is get a hold of those 10,000 text messages between the two parties during calendar year 2021 before she hired him in November. That comes down to over 30 text messages a day. I find it impossible to believe that there's not going to be a lot of clarity that comes out of those. There will also be business emails. They can potentially have their devices seized, as was happened here in New York City with Eric Adams. So these are the kinds of things you do during an investigation, and maybe even build to a grand jury where you start putting people in, getting testimony, giving people immunity. And you may even get to the point where you face the decision, hey, maybe it's more advantageous to flip Wade against Willis. He's already out of the case. And so maybe that's how we're going to get some real insight.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on another issue in a moment. But let me bring Doug Collins in here, because, Doug, you're in Georgia and have watched all of this play out. Your reaction?
Yeah, it's crazy to look at this going on. But I do think, Paul, I agree with you on a couple points. I think he's setting this up for something else. And I think that is the appeal process, and also possibly later bar exam. Right now, there's been no movement by the Attorney General, Chris Carr, or even the governor to do any kind of a criminal investigation that would fall under Chris Carr. There's been no evidence that he's moving forward to do anything like that. The Senate is down here. But I have a question for you on those 2 points. Do you think he's leading more toward the appellate process? You mentioned a bar review as well. But also, in looking at this, I think it's going to be critical this week on the appeals filed if he will actually give a certificate for immediate review, which means it can go up to the appellate court right now.
I think he will. I think there's a good chance that we're going to get an interlocutory appeal relative to the Georgia officials. It's true, no movement out of Carr. Governor Kemp was asked about it, and his take was, well, let's let it play out in court. Let's see how the hearing goes. Well, we know how the hearing went now, so I think that some people should be looking at this. I do think we're going to see the appeal, undoubtedly, and he's given substantial material for appeal. And let's remember also, she's under subpoena, that is Willis is, to the House, thanks to Jim Jordan, who is saying he may hold her in contempt. It's not a great optic for the feds to be, who peels this apart, if this is really a Georgia state matter. So I think there's going to be some heat building up to get this thing done on a local level.
All right, so this is not over just yet, that's for sure.